On an unsuspecting January afternoon, one of the darkest marks was laid on this nation's storied history. Pearl Harbor, 9/11, and the financial crisis of 2008 all pale in comparison to that fateful afternoon and the emerging threat it revealed against our nation and our way of life. Good evening, children. I am here before you in this nation's highest office, which my firm leases to the current administration, to shed light on a new enemy in the war on terror. In early January, a group of white supremacist, misogynistic, hillbilly neckbeards formed an insurrection in which they collectively began artificially inflating the prices of great, dying American companies. Their aim could not have been any clearer: to further sow division between the American people by attacking the backbone of this nation, our hedge funds and institutional investors. Much like an emerging coronavirus, these feeble-minded, basement-dwelling, working-class animals infiltrated the good folks of the WallStreetBets forum and infected the civilian members with radical ideas of upward mobility and taking autonomy of their financial futures. Some of these radicals voted for Trump, and the other half, the America-hating commies, voted for Biden. At this time, the only thing that we can confirm is that they are racist and that they come together in pursuit of destroying American values, one short squeeze at a time. Although shocking as it may be, the timing of this insurgence is no surprise. Our enemies took advantage of these historically uncertain times and coordinated these attacks by using our fundamental freedoms and liberties against us. For many, the long idle time at home due to the coronavirus pandemic has led to various forms of self-destructive behaviors, such as reading, writing, arithmetic, and of late, retail investing in the hopes of becoming rich and improving the lives of their families and their communities. But rest assured, as serious a threat as this may be, history has shown us time and time again that my colleagues on Wall Street and I have been tirelessly working behind the scenes to ensure that all Americans everywhere, regardless of race or creed, are taken care of. Whether it was us bravely taking the safe and effective vaccine months before it was even announced, or in 2007, when we tried our best to make sure that every American could achieve the dream of homeownership, we have been with you during the most difficult times every step of the way. We may not have always succeeded with our approach, but we always tried our best. Since the onset of this pandemic, our strategy for these historically unique times has been to make sure that the American people, while stuck at home, did not become antsy and begin asking too many questions. That's why we've been focused on getting you back to normal routines as quickly as possible, which health experts agree is the foundation of a healthy and fulfilling life. In order to accomplish this mission, we deployed a three-pronged approach focused on the things that we felt Americans cared about the most: reality television, same-day delivery, and live televised sports. In fact, I am proud to report that we have brought back live sports faster than any other G7 nation. In addition, we also fast-tracked the groundbreaking documentary covering the silly antics of Joe Exotic and his Tigers. In fact, this is as good a time as any to announce that under Operation Warp Speed, we have reached post-production on 19 more Joe Exotic documentaries coming out this winter. This ensures that you and your families will be actively engaged in a productive and meaningful way. I'd also like to speak more about participation in the free markets, a practice that is as American as apple pie and baseball. However, like my Uncle Ben always said, with great power comes great responsibility. This is why when we sense manipulation in the market and attacks on our shorts, we found it prudent to halt trading and limit your ability to buy certain securities. We feared that with the flow of good, honest, hard-working traders, some ill-intentioned terrorists would seep through the cracks. We did it to protect our shorts, but most importantly, we did it to protect you. Now, it's important to understand that greed is a natural part of our emotional makeup. It's what drives us to pursue noble goals such as peace on earth and caring for the environment. However, left unchecked, Greed can destroy man. Combine that profit motive with the freedoms that the market offers, and it's a recipe for disaster. I assure you, the market is not the right place to channel that natural drive. Try baking bread, gardening, or collecting Pokemon cards as you all did at the beginning of the pandemic. And while we're at it, let's also take a pause with talks about democratizing the markets. We should be focused on spreading democracy throughout the rest of the world, not having more within our borders. We don't need extra democracy. We have enough. Let's leave some for others. It's the right thing to do. If this pandemic has taught us anything, it's the value of stability. Look no further for examples of this than our frontline workers, who on the backdrop of the worst health crisis in American history, stepped up and continued doing their menial jobs for the sake of stability. My colleagues on Wall Street and I can also attest to this. But unlike nurses and teachers, our jobs have been difficult not only during the past year, but for the last 5 years. Do you have any idea how difficult the last 5 years have been for hedge funds? Imagine doing all your due diligence, analyzing charts, preparing forecasts, and all of a sudden, the nation's latest policies get broken sporadically on Twitter at all hours of the night. In fact, just when we thought the unpredictability was behind us with the swearing in of a new administration, you people, like spoiled children, decided to act out and make a mess. It hadn't even been a month of the new administration, and already we institutional investors were expected to put out another fire. You couldn't even give us a month to take a breather. Believe me, I find no pleasure in saying this, but you all need to reflect, and you all need to do better. Also, I ask you, when has anything worth getting done ever gotten accomplished overnight? All great movements happen with small, incremental changes. For years now, you've demanded and spoken out for racial equality and for greater representation of people of color. We heard you loud and clear, and we made them get rid of Apu. You wanted police reform and for new systems in place to hold the corrupt ones accountable. We heard you, and we made Washington change the name of their football team. Anytime there were legitimate grievances, although it took some time, we provided solutions. Lastly, I'd like to leave you with some actionable advice. Money is the root of all evil. It will never satisfy you. It will never fill the void. Focus your time instead on finding your passions and then pursuing them. I know it's hard to believe, but being wealthy comes with its own set of problems. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to secure a safe haven bunker in New Zealand when all of your colleagues are scrambling to get one? Do you have any idea how difficult it is to decide which G20 leader's lips you want wrapped around your shaft? No matter who you choose, you won't be happy. It's the paradox of choice. So please, show us a little compassion. We're all suffering, and we all want things to get back to normal. And it all starts with you. So, unless Mr. Beast plans on making a video in which he covers the trading losses of degenerate gamblers, we suggest leaving investing up to the professionals. Say thank you, God bless us, and you're welcome.